Hey, what's going on? Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling here. Looking at the next chapter of the Young Bucks book. It's called Going All In, and it's by Matt. And again, if you're somebody who is kind of on the fringe and heard about, okay, they drew like 10,000 people to this indie wrestling show, um, you got all the details here. And if you're somebody who is wondering, like, how did the thing even get set up with Tony Khan? Okay, they teased us at the beginning with this idea of, in the prologue, about, Triple H is going to call, Tony Khan is going to call. How did that all come about? What did the WWE offer them? How did it come to be that like Omega and Cody Rhodes and the Bucks and all these people were available all at once? This is the chapter for you. It's brilliant. It's absolutely great. I'm going to put the dust jacket cover down for a second to make the book easier to handle. Going All In by Matt. It's just super great. And again, I'm tempted to answer so many of these questions, but I really urge you to get the book. Needless to say, the deal that they were offered by the WWE was about triple, from what I understand, of what the usual deals were. So they really wanted them, and they wanted Kenny Omega as well. And Triple H was like super smooth about it. Let's just jump into the chapter, right? So Matt had just bought a house, and it was paid for, and it had it just seemed like it was so great. He describes his home life, which I would describe similar to mine, where it's like me and the kids. It's just filled with us having a great time. And when he says the line here, being a father brought me more joy than anything in my life, including wrestling. I mean, I don't know what to say except, yeah, I totally get it. They're looking at this cease and desist letter by the WWE. The letter claimed we could be held liable. This is for using the too sweet hand gesture. The fuck? We could be held liable for $150,000 in damages plus other fees. We asked for this, I thought, chuckling. We poked the bear. I'm glad. Yeah. All the lawyers are telling him nobody can own a hand gesture. This is ridiculous. So instead, they made a cease and desist t-shirt, which was their top seller. They did a thing where they burned all of the hand gesture merch. And they had this us versus them thing, which is very, very smart. Okay, Ring of Honor attendance is up across the board. Every live event, they would do an off-the-cuff send-off to close the show. Me, Nick, Cody, Hangman Page, and Marty would all enter the ring with a microphone and then just thank the fans and talk. And it's all super great. And again, this chapter flows. I'm not just going to do a recap of the chapter, but point out stuff that I found very interesting. Cody said, I think we could do an arena show and fill up 10,000 seats. And the prevailing attitude was, of course, no, this wasn't possible. And then it was, no, it isn't possible without CM Punk, but they're going to do it. They're going to do this damn thing. So they got New Japan involved. A Ring of Honor very graciously offered to help them, right? We've got this is Greg and Joe Koff from Ring of Honor, right? We got a production team who knows how to shoot wrestling and contracted wrestlers at your disposal. They insisted it would be our show and that they were only looking to help. We shook hands and made a deal. Sorry. And then Gary Juster. I want to talk about Gary Juster. I'm really familiar with Gary Juster. First of all, he's a good man. Just a great dude. Every dealing I've had with Gary Juster has been nothing but stellar and lovely. He would come to... First, he started coming to our Avondale Estate show, the one where they had 44 chairs in the back of a theater. Just crazy. And he came, but he saw a spark of something. And so he's definitely helped along the way. Just been a great guy. He used to bring Jim Cornette to our shows, our bigger shows that we would have at like the Masquerade and that kind of thing. And I just like the cut of Gary's jib. He always tried to help too, but I'm not the right fit, at least not back then, for something like Ring of Honor. Right now is a different story. Now I've gotten to play out my vision. I'm still love pro wrestling. It makes me want to pick up the phone and call Gary. But Gary comes up with Sears Center. Gary Juster knows venues, right? He started off as a promoter, booked buildings all over the world. Gary Juster knows his shit. So if he told them, here's Sears Center, it's like, yep, can it fit 10,000 people? Yep. And it's a great building and a nice location, and it's available September 1st. And so then now it gave them like 9 months to promote this thing. So it talks about the process of all the ideas they had going into the show, and all the work getting sponsors and all this kind of stuff. And they sold out the 10,000 seat venue in 29 minutes, right? Undeniable success. So now they're a hot topic and a hot ticket. And then it's a lot of stuff in here about Tony Khan and Triple H, and how disappointed they were with the Ring of Honor offers, and how disappointed Kenny Omega was with the New Japan offers, and how it just seemed like the stars lined up. And at first people were looking at Tony Khan as like, dude, nothing's going to come of this. But Matt and his mother are the two that were like kind of big advocates of this. And I'm not going to get into the details of it. I will just say this. Read this fucking book. And read this fucking chapter. Sorry for the swearing. And it will inspire you. It will interest you. If you're already listening to this, that means you're a pro wrestling person, or at least a fan of mine. From a literary standpoint, the book is an infinitely easy read in the best of ways. From a wrestling perspective, even if you don't agree with the Bucks thing, or you don't like them or whatever, to see them lay it out the way that they do, you're going to get something out of it that's really great. And then from a business person's perspective, you get to see that as well. Or even if you're just into stories about guys kind of coming into their own and figuring it out. If you're somebody who's wondering, how do I juggle family and my dreams? All that stuff, it's here. And this chapter epitomizes it. I'm going to keep this one relatively short because we're in the last 2 or 3 chapters, and I know I'm going to be talking forever on those. So, great chapter. Great job. I'm Stephen Platinum. Get the book, bro.